Hey gang, I know how Prosper.com works and I know how you can use it to get $34,000. But wait, don't do that yet. Of course, I am Tom, the co-founder of the Small Business Funding Network. It's a pleasure to virtually meet you. As I said, I know exactly how Prosper works on the personal lending side of the market, because I do a lot in the banking and lending space as an almost 20-year-old business service provider and as an educational company. We literally have seen every imaginable business lending product, as well as personal loan services available to the public or privately sourced. We try a lot of them ourselves. I like to say I was the original guinea pig in all of these programs to make sure they would work effectively for you as they did for me in my business. Okay, so we try a lot of them ourselves and then do recommendations based on either our experience or based on what our clients tell us they are using these kinds of things for, what the results are. So we literally have close to 1 million active database users, subscribers, members, clearly people who watch these kinds of broadcasts. In our 19 plus years, almost 2 decades now, we have helped facilitate this kind of thing for a lot of people, learned quite a few lessons along the way. This is a new topic, a new discussion, new lesson. Let's talk about the pros and the cons. Let's quickly, I want to take up too much of your time, but let's quickly go through this. And then as you know the drill, we have something better for you than you can find anywhere else on the market. So let's talk about easy personal loans for a minute. Normally, the only thing that we discuss on these kinds of training channels is personal capital, business capital, business lending, business financing, business lines of credit, okay? So business funding, in other words. So let's talk about easy personal loans for a minute that work for people with poor credit, because that's what obviously in this economy, it's a lot of people are facing what they're going through. I'm not talking about business loans right now. So are we clear on that? What the topic of today's discussion is to compare and contrast. What is the difference of you not using one of our best products, using a service like Prosper? How would you be able to do that? Well, they send you, literally they mail you an invitation, as it says, goes up to $50,000. For terms of our example today, we're going to use a $34,000 loan approval that I recently witnessed myself, so I can tell you direct what the costs were, what the process was. But again, it's pretty simple, straightforward. Prosper sends you this directly as an invitation, or of course, you stumble upon them by going to their website. So I'm not, as I said, to reinforce this, I am not talking specifically about you being encouraged to do business loans. We're doing a case study, we're doing a comparison, right? So, so we're talking about personal loans, even if you have poor credit. We're not talking about business loans for the moment, who don't care what your credit score is. So personal, okay, if you have poor personal credit, you know there can be some challenges. If you want business and doing it under the name of a business, as I've taught for almost 20 years now, then that becomes irrelevant. So I just want to look at how some types of personal loans work for people who need money, and specifically those personal loans as they relate to people with poor or damaged or problematic credit history. I know how something called Prosper loans work, and I can tell you what it would cost to receive a $34,000. Let me write that down. $34,000 lump sum loan in just a few days, no matter what your personal credit history looks like. So again, we're talking about a case study example of a personal loan, right? So if you went through the whole process with Prosper and you got your hands on a $34,000 personal loan, what would that look like? Most importantly, what would the costs and the rates be? And is it tax deductible? Does it report to credit bureaus? Yes, all these. So that's the point of our case study, to go through that today, to show you, compare, contrast, good, bad. Again, I'm not trying to badmouth Prosper. I just simply want you to be aware. Most people don't go nearly as far down the rabbit hole as I have to see the actual end result, the actual cost, and then in using it, what the ultimate cost of that is versus your return, what you're making back for the use of the money, because that's all capital is, right? Just a tool that you're going to use, like a hammer is a tool. You can use a hammer to build a house. You're going to use capital to build a business, build investments, get additional income with it. So first things first, Prosper, this is not a traditional bank loan. It's not, doesn't come from a bank, right? Because bank wouldn't do that. So your funding would come from regular people through the Prosper site. Again, we're talking about personal funding. Personal, not business over here. Prosper is personal funding, not a bank loan. Comes from who? Average everyday Americans now, thanks to who are allowed to lend at favorable rates to the general public, not qualified investor type of people, anybody, thanks to the passage of Title III approval. You remember that many years ago. I was one of the first experts came out, taught you all about, that's what's called crowdfunding, right? Taught you all of those important principles many years ago when that was first passed. So this has been around for a long time. It's getting more attention. In fact, I talked to a client, Ray, yesterday on the phone, and he's a 66-year-old man, older gentleman like most of us are, and he knew what the heck we were talking about when we spoke about this. So here is how it works. How does it work to get a personal loan, even if your credit's yucky or damaged? Okay, you go to the website. As I said, in many cases, they'll literally mail you, snail mail you out an invitation with an invitation code to make it easy to go, pull up your pre-approved offer, the stats, all that kind of stuff. But you can, without that invitation, you can, of course, go directly to the website. You go to the website with no impact on your credit score initially. So great, good. This is a safe, good initial thing. If you ever wanted to go through this process and see with your own little eyes exactly how it works, it's not going to harm or affect your, it's not going to do a hard hit on your credit score, just for you to see what the offers are, just for you to see what the terms and the costs are. So no harm, no foul in that part of it, right? So go to the website, no impact on your personal credit score. You can select the amount of personal funding you want, and you can see your rates that are available depending on how long you want the money for. In the case study that I saw myself, that I was able to watch over, it was a request for $34,000 for personal funding, not business, right? So somebody that I'm working with actually did an application, got approval for $34,000, fully approved through the Prosper.com site. Okay, if we use, so go to the website, no impact on your credit, you select the amount of funding that you want, and you see your rates that are available depending on how long you want the money for. The shorter amount of time you want to utilize the money, I have seen and found, the slightly lower the rates are. The longer you want, 5 years is the maximum anyway. So for most people, no big difference between 3 years and 5 years, right? So get it at whatever scale and rate makes sense to you for your personal needs. If we use the $34,000 personal loan as an example, as I said, that I recently saw, pardon me, I found out you can get a 5-year term starting at 6 or 7%. Okay, let me write that down also. So this is a case study of doing personal funding through the Prosper site. I'm not endorsing it. I'm not telling you to rush over there, recommend that you do it. I want to go through this with you so you can see what the pros and cons are, and you can see the hidden costs before you can go start down that road. So as we said, from what I saw in this example, depending on the length of time you wanted to use this funding source. Oh, that was the wrong pen. That was a mistake. I'll pay for that with a cleanup later. That was not the whiteboard pen. This, my friends, is the whiteboard pen. Okay, don't get off track. So yeah, 6 and 7%, not terrible, not that bad, not super aggressive, great, but it's a lot better than 26%, which is what a lot of people are paying to carry monthly credit card debt. So that's one of, ding, 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 one of the common uses of Prosper, and that's what they sell to their investors. They're selling to the people who are putting the money in this system for you to draw out of it. Hey, we have people that are already carrying this debt, but they're paying 26, 27, 28% interest. you can get in, you can get a much better return on your money sitting in a CD or bank account or even bonds. And you know that they can afford to carry because you're going to be saving them 20% of what they're already naturally normally paid. So it's huge savings, savings of tens of thousands of dollars over the term of the loan. Okay. So with that 5-year repayment term, you would have a little higher monthly payment. So obviously, if you're stretching the payment out over 25 years, the payment's going to be lower each month. With a 5-year term, the payment's going to be a little bit higher, but you would get out of personal debt much faster if that was one of your needs and uses for doing this Prosper, okay? But here's the main catch. That's what everybody wants, right? That's what you came for. Prosper as a company does not help you do this all for free, of course. Why do you think they spent millions and millions of dollars to build out that infrastructure to attract the people, to do the advertising, to mail out the mailers, as I've already showed you, which cost postage even in this electronic day and age? Why do they do all of that? To be a matchmaker, because they want something. They want, okay, so let's use the right pen this time, Tom. They want taken out of this funding that they've approved you for. They will take out $1,700. That's a little confusing. Let me fix that up. Okay, they will take, before they even wire the money over to you, they will take away $1,700 as their fee. That's the Prosper fee. So you're fully funded for $34,000 minus the $1,700 they've taken away for their fee. My math friends out there, I do this with my daughter every morning. How much is that left over for you? You get wired to you $32,300. Boy, I hope that's right. Okay, so that is the unknown cost. Most people don't have any idea if they were to go to start through the process of utilizing Prosper. They have no idea that there is that somewhat large on a percentage basis and on a dollar basis. There's that somewhat large back-end fee cost. So you have a loan, and this example of $34,000, but you only got your hands on $32,300. Okay, so understand, not good or bad. Again, I'm not slamming Prosper. I'm not endorsing it. I don't want you to all rush over there and utilize it, because as I said, I got a much better system that I want you to help you utilize, as we have helped business owners, entrepreneurs, real estate investors, you name it, for almost 20 years now. So in this example, okay, Prosper takes a $1,700 fee for providing the matchmaking service. If you want a smaller loan amount, if this is more than you need, they take less. Okay, so no biggie. If you got half of that amount, the fee would be half that much. Okay, so it's all relative, it's all similar. Then you would receive, as I said in this example, a much smaller amount, $32,300, wired to you the next day. Okay, so that's how it works. All in all, I don't think this is a bad deal or a good deal. Sometimes there's a cost to access capital, and if you want and need the money for it, it's actually saving you tens of thousands of dollars, then it's worth it. So again, in our example, if this were being used to pay down high interest rate, 26, 27, 28% credit card debt you're already carrying, if that's what you're using it for, then you're going to be saving $17,000 on the total interest expense. So paying a small pittance portion of that to save that much money is, in the long run, a good, smart business term, right? The other catch is another thing that I want to make you aware of, okay? The other catch is that you might be asked to prove your income right before the personal funding is done. So again, we're talking about where the pros and cons are. In business funding, which is what we specialize in, that's not the case, never the case, okay? So in this particular case, as I said, personal funding doesn't matter if you have bad credit or not. That's what this was set up for. But it could be very important as to whether you get approved for that amount or not, based on your provable income. Okay, so that's the other catch. You might be asked, you might not, but more than likely than not, you'd be asked to prove the income figures that you've listed in terms of getting approved for this personal loan. So again, to restate this, it's never the case with the regular business loans that we always help people get, that you would need to physically document, prove personal income to get approved for the large business lines of credit we help people. Always interesting to see what the different options are for tapping into the capital markets to get money to invest, do debt consolidation, very important, or to start a business, which is what most of my clientele, customers, users, and friends use these kinds of business funding programs for. But I would say that this makes it very clear. This example makes it very clear that the business funding programs we offer would be far superior to using something like Prosper loans, which have a few drawbacks that our business loan programs don't have. Again, I am not trying to slam Prosper. I am also not encouraging you to throw caution in the wind and go rush to it. Again, look for yourself. I've had this up long enough. You've had the chance to read it. Business funding good, personal funding bad. Business funding is invisible, meaning it doesn't report back onto you. And there is the concept that you can walk away if the business is not able to repay it. You personally, meaning that. Okay, personal funding is not invisible. It's reported. It heavily weights down. Even this Prosper system will weigh down. Business funding will get you much larger amounts, like in the millions of dollars. Personal funding is relatively small. Business funding is cheap. Never have this kind of back-end fee associated with a basic line of credit like that. Personal funding, because of this kind of instance, is expensive because the rates are higher, because it's not tax deductible. Business funding rates are ultra low and tax deductible, which makes them even smaller. It can be used to invest. No, these personal, that's not one of the lines that Prosper wants you to be utilizing this for investing in outside opportunities. Pardon me. And as I just said, your income is not important for the business to get access to business funding, whereby personal funding, like this example, you do need to have good income. So I think I made the case very strongly. Great example, great case study. So if you'd like to work with us to get and use our highly advantaged business funding program, we have, as you can see, a special sale available today, only until midnight. So you have to do this before midnight Pacific time today to be able to take advantage of this opportunity. What's the opportunity? Again, our best program, limited spots in it, limited quantities available. You save $750 off the normal cost of our full funding service by taking advantage of this sale. So click wherever the links are. I put the arrows in the best direction I know how, below the screen, beside the screen, wherever you find it, wherever it says blue link, order now, enroll now, click here to get started, wherever the links are, probably over there, click that. That takes you to the secure checkout page so that you can use a credit card, debit card, input that information immediately, click now, and you will have locked in our best funding program with all these huge advantages, and even some I didn't have time to cover, at a major savings. By doing this today before midnight Pacific time, as you can see, the expiration date is upon us. This will save you a fortune with no back-end fees. Cross that out wherever it is, right there. Cross that out. It makes everything tax-free. That's worth $15,000 per year to most people. And once you start doing this, you could even pay yourself a big salary out of the business funding that you get, or hide your old personal debt into the name of your business so it stops dragging you down. Because yes, sadly, the more personal debt you take on, the lower your credit rating is going to be. So it's like a vicious circle. You know, you have difficulty with your credit, and you go and get a consolidation loan like this, it's still kind of dragging your credit through the mud, where in the business case, that's not happening. Okay, so everything that we will do for you is a huge advantage and cost 10 times less than if you do it the wrong way, in my opinion, by doing it using personal funding instead of business funding. I don't want, as I said, I don't want to disparage anybody else's business. Prosper's helping people. Great company, I'm sure. So I don't want to disparage them, but there is a safer, better, cheaper way. And this gives you access to millions of dollars in funding that do all of these amazing things and a lot more. Once we start to work together, we'll build a relationship. It's even conceivable for many of our clients. I get on the phone personally, go through what are your goals, what are the situation when you use this program the best for. Take advantage of the opportunity. Click the order now button, click the blue button wherever you may find it. It's close by on the page, usually right beside or below the video screen. Take advantage of this opportunity. Big discount on the sale price, limited quantity of the people that we can help in this program, because it is a effectively hands-on program. So take advantage of the opportunity before the midnight deadline expires, because you will not get another shot. You will not get a sweet deal like this. You will not get all of the advantages that are so important this time of the year, this time in our country's history. We got a lot of crazy stuff going on. You want every advantage possible. In almost 20 years experience in the industry doing this as an education company, service provider company, we've helped file tens of thousands of LLCs and corporations for people all over the country. We know what we're doing to help people in business, investing in real estate that want to grow and expand. So we would be thrilled to be able to help you. Thank you so much for taking some of your valuable time to be here. This was fun. I've got a little head cold today, but I was jazzed. I was jazzed up having an opportunity to go through this as a real case study, as it were. So click the order links, get to the secure checkout page, whatever way you need to, by clicking the links beside or below the video screen. Enter in your payment information, credit card or debit card, click submit, do it immediately to take advantage while the midnight deadline is approaching us quickly today. That's it. Take care, everybody. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.